All right, I appear to be live. I don't think I've got the right screen on. One second here. Okay, hello. I'm Caton from acemethodcoaching. Let me turn my screen here. What I'm doing today, I'm going live. I am going to review 6 videos of the 22 that I received this week. Just to be clear with people how this works is I do this for a fee normally, a lot more extensive version than what you see or what you're going to see today. When a person hires me to do a virtual coaching session, I'll usually do at least a half hour just on them, sometimes longer. Sometimes we do it live on Zoom, where there's a lot of dialogue back and forth and we're looking at videos and talking and strategizing. Or sometimes I'll just email them to me and I'll give them as much advice as I can. It's very lengthy. But when I get a lot of people who ask me for free to do it, I can't possibly do them all because I get too many. So normally I'll choose 5 or so a week. This week I'm choosing 6 for a couple of reasons. In case you're wondering, how do I do that? You can go to my website at acemethodcoaching.com. On the hurdle page, you will see very clearly how to get involved in this. Now, how do I choose the videos? Okay. It's a couple of things to keep in mind. One is usually as a selfish reason, I want them to be videos that are going to be easy to review, easy for you as the audience to see. So if you send me one in practice and it's just you and it's very good, I'll usually choose that over one that's in a race. Unless the one in the race is a really good quality and I'm able to see you really clearly, which, where the camera can see you. If you're behind other runners or at a bad angle, a lot of people send me videos where they're at the finish line. The finish line doesn't show me any good angles of you hurdling. So those rarely get chosen. Or if you're at the starting line and you're running away from the camera, I rarely choose those either. I usually like it to where the camera is right in line with one of the hurdles, so I can see you come up to that hurdle. I can see you off the hurdle before, see you in between the 2 hurdles, and then see you go over the hurdle that's right in front of the camera. So if you could do that either at practice or at race, you have a much better chance of me choosing it, because if I'm only going to do 5 or 6 or 4 to 6, of course I'm going to choose the better ones because they're easier to review, they're better for you to watch, but also I can use them for my social media and they make for really good quality shorts. So just so you'll know, I also like front angles too. So if you ever send me a chance to send me 2, one from the front, one from the side, I can combine that into giving you a really good analysis. So just keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is I have just this week sent out information on what I'm calling the Ace Hurdler Preseason Challenge. Okay? And if you don't know about it, there's a link in this video. Okay? There's also a link in the video that I put out this week on YouTube called Preseason Hurdle Training. Okay? That has a link to access this. Plus, today, whenever I'm done with this, I'm going to go on to my website because I just realized I didn't put a link on my website for a person to get to that page. So I'm going to do that on my hurdling page. But just know that it's on that video. So watch that video called Preseason Hurdling. You'll see in there a link to get to my Ace Hurdler Preseason Challenge. Now what that does is I will give you your workouts during the preseason. I'll send you an invitation to get on a live YouTube with me on Sunday nights. And where I will talk about the training and try to answer questions. So it's basically like I'm coaching you once a week, telling you what to do that coming week. Okay. And I've never done it before, so I'm really interested to see how it goes. But the other thing you want to know is I made a promise on there that people that are in that challenge, they get preferential treatment on if they send in videos for me to review. Okay. So if I get 20, 30, 40 videos, the first ones I'm going to consider are the people that are in my challenge. Doesn't mean I'm always going to select the people in my challenge, because they still have to be good videos. So if I got good videos from someone in my challenge, they have a much better chance of being chosen for me to do a free review. Now, all that to be said is that's to get a free thing. If you want a real review, a real in-depth one where I'm spending a lot of time digging into what you need and sending you information, then just go onto my website and sign up for a virtual coaching session. It's really simple. You got a couple of options in there. It's not expensive for what you're going to get, and it's going to help you a lot. That way you don't have to go through all these hoops to hope that I choose your video, to do 5 free ones, when you can just pay a little bit of money and get a really good one and turned around usually within 24 hours. Okay, I guarantee 48 hours, but I try to do them in that day or by the next day. So just know that. Okay. All right. I'm doing 6 today, and let me tell you what order it is. Give me 1 second. It's going to be Kaden, then Deno, then Isaac. I think I spelled that wrong. Jonah, Logan, and Masiej. Sorry, ladies. The better videos that I got this week were from some men, boys. I didn't want that, but that's just the way that goes. Okay, so I'm going to, without further ado, jump into this. By the way, if you have a question for me, feel free to, and you get live on here, feel free to jump on to YouTube and send me a question. If you want to send me a video, know that you can't just send it in here and think that I'm going to review it during this show. It's got to go through the process on my website. But I will address questions, okay? But also, the better time for that would be tomorrow evening on my Zoom call. So go check out the Ace Hurdler Preseason Challenge. Let me switch this to this. Actually, I'm just going to do this. You don't need to see my face. Okay, I'm going to go in here. Real quick, just because I'm paranoid. Everything seems to be good. 5 people have watched. 5 people are on. Nobody's asked a question yet. Okay, no problem. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to look at Kaden. So Kaden is a junior in high school. Been hurdling for a few years, you can tell. Has questions about his arms and also running through the hurdle. Oh, darn it. There's a reason why I can fix this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here comes Kaden. So we're going to, let me cue this up. I actually like this video. That's why I chose it. This is a good angle because I see the steps coming up to the hurdle, going over the hurdle, and I see it from a good angle. Okay, and I can see him a little bit running off the hurdle. So let's watch it. I'm just going to let it play for a while I say this. So Kaden, it's interesting because you're talking about, what was your question? Come on, why can't I not find this right now? Oh, running through the hurdle. Where, as far as running through the hurdle, you look to me to be a little bit exceptional at that compared to other high schoolers that I see. Like, you can see that you stay really pretty flat going over the hurdle. So you're doing a good job there. But your arms do need work, and I do see some things that I think will help you a lot. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, let me show you what I see here. So your start is somewhere off the camera, but this here is like your second or third step, and this is a good one. This is another good one. I'm looking at the angles of your shin, and they're all angled back. This is negative shin angle. This is, see, by the time your foot hits the ground, boom, again, this is really good, which tells me that you're pushing back on the track and you're at least attempting to accelerate, okay? Now, when it changes is when I can see that you are actually stopped accelerating and you are, even if it's subconscious, you are trying to decelerate. You haven't done that yet. Okay, this one, this one is a little more neutral, so it's still okay. And then here's the last step going into the hurdle, and I'm going to zoom in on this. This is your unfortunate step. Look how you're reaching out in front of you. I don't know why, because you were looking so good coming up into the hurdle, and you're somebody who doesn't seem to have a problem staying flat over the hurdle. So I don't know why you're wanting to put the brakes on. Or maybe you're just realizing you're too far away, or you're trying to step out. One way or the other, you need to fix this. So probably what you just need to do is your other steps leading up to this. If you could just add, seriously, a couple of inches to them, to where it'd almost be unnoticeable. You would then, so think about it, 8 steps times 2 inches is 16 inches. You would be 16 inches closer to this hurdle, and you wouldn't need to reach out the way you are. Okay, so maybe you just need to add 1 inch to some of the steps. So you just be 6 to 8 inches away, right? So just know that little tweaks like that can make a big difference, but this is slowing you down. Okay, putting on the brakes, landing on your heels out in front of you. But it looks good. The nice thing is this fence line, I can use, it's even with the top of the hurdle, so I can look at it to see that, yes, your hips have gone up some, because right here, your waist, the top of your shorts, is below the fence line, and then when you go over the hurdle, the bottom of your glutes is above the fence line, so your waist is way up here. So yes, you did go up, but it's not very high. So it's not that bad, is what I'm trying to say. But one thing I do notice is you take off, and by the way, your lead leg moves nicely. You could possibly push a little harder off of your right leg and get a harder extension to push you faster forward. I like the lean of your body, but it does look like you're leaning a little bit to the left. Okay, hard to tell with this angle, but I would bet that if I had a front-on angle, I'd see you leaning over to the left. Try to keep your body forward. Try to keep your shoulders forward. Try to keep your hips forward, okay? But your lead arm, because you were asking about your arms, looks okay here, but when I watch it all the way through, I don't like that. I don't like that it ends up behind you like that. So what you need to do is this point here where you start to pull your lead arm back, think about pulling your elbow back, not your hand. Try to keep your arm bent, okay? And your hand should sweep right past your knee, right here, even though I can't see it. And it shouldn't fall behind you like that. So work on that. The other thing is your trail arm. See, your trail arm, think about it like you're running. And if you pull your arm back as you're swinging it, your elbow should be bent and your wrist should go right past your hips, but not out like this. Your arm is actually swinging behind you. So you need to work on keeping that tighter also. So when you pull it back here, it pulls through like your arm when you're running, okay? Coming off the hurdle, you actually look pretty good. So those are the things that I would work on. One more thing that I want to mention is I do think you've reached the peak of your jump right here, somewhere between here and here, which I think is a little bit too far forward. You could probably stand to, you could stand to take off, 4 to 6 inches farther back than what you did, which would also, if you did that, you wouldn't have to reach out this far and you'd be faster and lower. And because you want to reach your peak about right here and then start coming down on the hurdle. You don't start coming down on the hurdle till here, because look how you are pretty far away from the hurdle when you do land. So that's another suggestion. So keep your hips and shoulders straight, keep your arms bent and tight. Lead arm needs to pull back with the elbow versus the hand. Probably take off from 4 to 6 inches back so you can stay flatter over that hurdle and land closer to the hurdle. Okay, that's my suggestion there. Deno. Okay, so I chose you, Deno, and this is be a good lesson for other people. When you tell me something about you, I like compelling stories. Some people don't bother telling me anything. There was one guy who had probably the best video here, but I knew nothing about him. So it doesn't make it interesting for me or anybody watching this video. So I'd like to know something. So Deno is, if that's how you're saying your name. If I remember correctly, I didn't write it in my notes, but you were telling me you've been stuck at the same speed for a while and you think you're faster, but you don't know why you're stuck at this speed. And that kind of stuff, speaks to me. So I'm going to help you out. So let me cue this up. That didn't work. Okay, give me 1 second here. Apparently I don't understand this as much as I thought that I did. Won't take long. Okay. I think you're in Maryland, based on the flag on the wall. Always like to guess. Okay, excuse me. I am going to use this as the starting point of the video. Dang it. It's glitching out on me. Okay, here we go. So, Deno is this individual right here who's in lane 1, 2, 3. So he's the second guy from the right and ends up getting second place in this race. And I definitely see some things that I would suggest. I know that Maryland tends to have good hurdlers. I've learned that. Okay. All right. And the other thing, and I hope it's not annoying, I don't know if this guy is a friend of yours, he's a competitor of yours, but I'm going to use him as an example sometimes, just so you'll know, okay? Because he's doing some things right. So here's what I'm seeing about you. Let me get him out of the way. So when I watch you run between the hurdles, see how you are squatted down, right? And your hips are back, right? Like, see, like this, like if this guy wasn't in the way, we'd be able to see that. Maybe when you get here, yeah. See how you're not up tall? In here, you definitely go down, like you're lowering your center of mass, right? Like you're this knee right here bent. Like that's not, it doesn't usually look that way when you're sprinting. And I would bet that if you were sprinting without hurdles, you wouldn't have a step like that, right? The other thing is, I'm watching you run between the hurdles. That's not a bad step, but that is definitely stretched out right here. Look how far apart your knees are from each other. And then this step right here, definitely a lot of reach with your lead leg. So I would work on the steps between the hurdle, really maintaining good sprint technique, staying taller. Try to have less backside heel recovery. Hopefully you know what I mean. If you don't, talk to your coach about that. But here's something that I also definitely think. Let's watch your lead arm. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use your competitor here as an example. So here, his left arm is his lead arm. He just sticks it out, pulls it back, right? So here you don't even see it. It just comes natural with his arm swing. Sticks it out, pulls it back. And his trail arm, swinging naturally, swings back, and then swings forward. Let's watch your trail arm. You start back here on your second step, and now you're halfway on your way to your third step, and you've already started this backwards swinging motion. See that with your arm? And you're going to swing it over. I know a lot of guys do this. I'm not a fan of it. And your hand is now swinging over the top. See that? I think that that's not good. People, don't get me wrong, some really, really fast hurdlers have done this and do this, but I think that you see this less and less. I think that it was a phase, and you don't see it much anymore. In the Olympics, you don't see the guys doing that. The guys, like in the World Championships, the finalists aren't doing that. Don't get me wrong, Aries Merritt did it. I get it. But that's just what I think. I just think that he was just truly super fast and could pull it off. That's what I think. So I think that throws off your balance a little bit. Also, I want you to notice this. This guy's taller than you, right? Okay? He actually looks like a tall dude. Look where he steps down, like where his foot is in relation to the lines right here for what I think are the girls' hurdles, or maybe something like that. And then so you're close to the line. You're like almost, your toes are maybe touching that line, and his are farther behind. But then again, he's taller. But I also want you to notice this. Look where he touches down, way back here. He's got like a foot to go before he gets to this line. And look where you touch down. Boom, you're touching down, again, toes on the line. So he is coming down off the hurdle and getting up to running faster than you, whereas you are floating through the air longer. And the longer you're in the air, the more you're going to slow down, because the air does not speed you up. We're not an airplane that has thrust pushing us forward. The moment you stop pushing is when you stop losing forward propulsion, and now you're slowing down because you're waiting for gravity and air resistance, okay? So you are coming up high on the hurdle, you're reaching your peak on top of the hurdle, and then coming down far away, versus reaching your peak about right here, coming down and touching here versus over here, and you'd be a lot faster. So just like the guy before, in fact, the first 3 people I'm going to review today all have the same problem, in my opinion. Too close to the hurdle, jumping too high, reaching your peak in front of at the hurdle, and stepping off too far away versus the opposite. So that's what I think you need to work on. Okay, Good luck with that. Moving on to Isaac. Okay, Isaac. Second year of high school. I don't believe this is U.S. I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. Question about putting the lead leg down faster. If you've been watching the two guys before you, it's the same answer. It's not that everybody has this. It's just a coincidence, as I was looking through these videos, that all three of you guys had the same problem. Okay? I mean, you're a good hurdler, but you want to be faster. So let me okay, so I'm going to watch you. Good step. I mean, let's see here. I do think that you are coming out of the blocks too tall, but I don't really like to spend too much time talking about starts on these videos because it would take too long. But as a quick note, I think you're standing up out of the hurdle too fast. But so good steps. Again, good. When you do touch down, your shin straight up and down, that's fine. Now, the step going into the hurdle, it's a bit flat foot. If anything, heel touches first. It's out in front of you. It's not straight, so that's good. The angle of the shin could be better, so you could step down, boom, right here a little bit more. That would help you. Also, let's watch your body as it goes over this hurdle. This looks really nice right here, okay? I just wish that your angle of this leg were a little lower towards the hurdle, because I think that you are jumping up too much versus jumping forward, okay? Not even jumping, just going at the hurdle and wrapping your legs around it. You're jumping over it a bit too much, because watch this. You're reaching the top of your jump right here, and you're right on top of the hurdle. Your hips should have been back here about 12 inches. I don't know what that is in centimeters if you're not from US. But so you want to be lower here and then come down on the hurdle, because again, look where you touch. I think this is too far away from the hurdle. I'd like to see you touching down about right here. So my recommendation is to probably either try to take off a little bit farther, or get your foot underneath you a little bit more, so that somehow you end up having your toe moved back to here or here. Okay? Get it underneath you. It's a cut step, and then you want to go forward, and then you send your body forward. See how it starts to go up? But it should only go forward. Reach the top here, lower, come down, and land right here instead of here, and I think you'll be much faster. Okay? That's what I would do. Let me see if you had any other questions. Yeah, that was really basically it. I hope that helps. Okay, moving on to Jonah. Okay, Jonah. What did Jonah say? He says he feels like he's working on it. He's a junior, second year hurdling, going into his junior season, but he thinks he's putting on the brakes, and it's slowing him down, so he wants to maintain speed. Oh yeah, Jonah. The video is not ideal because you're way over here, but I chose it because I just thought your technique is interesting. See how low you're squatted down all the time? Like that. I mean, you did everything running down low like you're a football player, a running back getting ready to take a handoff, and you want to go low through the line of scrimmage, You need to be up tall, try to come at the hurdle. Anytime I see a person down low like this tells me that you are trying to get down low so that you can take this big step in front of you like you're long jumping and then jump up. So a person goes low because they want to jump up. That's a clue that I as a coach can look for to see that you're doing that. So try to run taller at the hurdle, okay? You know what I didn't do? Let me just play this video at full speed. Okay, and you'll notice, here's what I see. You look strong, you look fast, and you look athletic. You don't look tall, but see how far away you're landing on the backside of the hurdle, okay? You're floating for a long time. Okay, so you're down low, you're taking off really close, your arms are doing funny things. Let's look at your lead arm, okay? You're swinging it around straight, and then you hook it across your body. So that's going to give you a little rotation. But because you're strong, you're able to keep your shoulders squared, so good for you. Keep your hips square, but your lead leg should not look at this angle when you're up here. It should actually be angled down. It should either be, actually right here it should be straight, and here it should already be coming down, but yours is still pointed up. So you have basically got close, got down low, and then jumped over the hurdle, and here you are looking like you're coming down from a height. This is the way you should look when you touch down on the ground, right? Just like this. But you have at least a foot still to go, okay? So you got too close, jumping up too high. It's funny, just like the other three guys. So this is 4 guys in a row who all have a similar problem, being too close, jumping up, and then ending up too far on the other side. You definitely. I think you land farther on this side of the hurdle than you took off from this side of the hurdle. Yeah. And in case I didn't mention it, it's supposed to be a 2-to-1 ratio. So like 6 feet here and then 3 feet over here. And you got about 5 over here and about 6 over here. So it's backwards. So get tall, farther away, jump at the top of the hurdle, stay low, come down close to the hurdle. That's going to help you a lot, okay? Sounding like I only know one advice to give, but that just is coincidence that's the issue with all 4 of you guys. Okay, the other 2 aren't like this. Okay, moving on to Logan. Okay, Logan, a senior in high school, 3rd year hurdling, somebody who used to run on his heels, but he has transitioned to be somebody who's now running on the balls of his feet. So good for you, Logan. But feels like he's too high and he wants to know how to stay low, and overall, any advice that I can give him. Okay. You're looking good there, and indeed you are striking the ground well. I don't know about this step, though. I'll look at it when you get to the next hurdle. I'm just going to look at everything. So I look at that step of your left foot. It looks to be in front of you, but you are on the balls of your feet, so that ball of your foot, so that's good. I'm looking at your lead arm, and you seem to you're not bringing it over high like I was showing with one of those guys today, Deno, but you do seem to be swinging it from the side a little bit. Your trail arm is doing something funny though. Maybe I'll see it later. Okay. Not a bad touchdown. In fact, looks like a good touchdown. But your arms shouldn't be straight out like this. Okay. It should be bent at 90 degrees at this point. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, not bad. Not bad. You look tall, which is advantageous for high hurdler. Okay, here we are going into that hurdle. I do think that your third step, your last step going into the hurdle, your plant step, tends to just be a little stretched out. And so that's going to be cutting back on your speed. Plus, you just seem twisted here. See, your shoulders a little bit twisted counterclockwise, because I can see the V really, really good, like you're facing the camera. And again, your lead arm, you seem to swing it around from the side. So far, I would say, keep working on your steps, where you might need to have your second step to be a couple of inches longer, so that you could have your third step not be so long and stretched out. And then also really focus on keeping hips forward, shoulders forward, and just sticking your lead arm right out there versus swinging it around, okay? And then, yeah, see how, remember I was talking about that lead arm? See how you're hooking your whole body there? It just seems like it's a rotation, a clockwise rotation that you are going to have to like deal with, and it slows you down. It messes with balance a little bit. But looking at your touchdown, this is the best thing you've got going on, is you don't seem particularly high over the hurdle. And your touchdown is really good with a nice angle. Okay, your knees are farther away than I would think. Again, see that stretched out step? And then now you're really far away from the hurdle, which makes me think you had a hard time even reaching this hurdle. Okay, I'm going to take a leap here and make some guesses. And I could be wrong. But based on where we are in the year, and you're a high schooler in the U.S., you are in preseason. It's January, and so you're getting ready for your spring season, just because you're wearing cold clothing, and you are, if I'm not mistaken, the hurdle is at the mark that it's supposed to be. Okay, so I'm gonna just tell you, again, I could be wrong here, but this is what I think. I think that I don't know if you've been doing indoors or not, but you went outside in the cold. Maybe it's one of your first practices early on in preseason. You put the hurdles at regular height and regular spacing, and you're running at them, and you're having a hard time reaching the third hurdle, probably have a really hard time reaching the fourth hurdle. When all I would say is, I think you're doing great for where you are in the season. Okay, if you watched my video, my preseason hurdle training, you'll see what my philosophy is about off-season or preseason training. And I never have my athletes put it at regular spacing yet. It's way too early for that, because they usually have a hard time. So I always push them in 1 or 2 feet, so they can just run at it at 80%, because that's all you need at this point in the year, because it leads to frustration and possibly getting hurt. So if I'm correct and you're in that situation, I think you're doing great, way ahead of schedule, and don't worry about it. Just keep it up, and I think you're going to be fantastic. I would pinch your hurdles in closer, so you don't have to reach out so high, and you could practice getting good steps. And then as the weeks go on, just gradually spread out those hurdles closer and closer to spacing. And then that way you're always getting good practices and learning proper technique versus using practice to reach official spacing and training yourself to have bad technique is a bad idea. I never, until probably the last 2 weeks of the season, are my hurdlers hurdling in practice at full spacing. You just don't need to. I've talked about that so much in my videos, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but just know that it's there. If you're not already in it, you and everybody else on this video should consider my preseason challenge. There's a link in this video. There's a link also in the video called preseason hurdle training. And then as soon as I hang up with this, I'm going to go put a link on my website. But it will be good for you. So check it out. Now I'm going to go see if anybody has asked me a question during this. Okay, so Tyrell, how many are you analyzing today? I'm analyzing 6, and I just finished them. I received about 22 of them this week alone. I only choose a handful to do every week. If you want me to do yours, go to my website. There's a link in the end of this video or in the notes here, and you'll see how to do it. And Coach Buchalter, thank you. I appreciate your support. As always, you're the man. Okay, so real quick, let me wrap this up. Let me go back to here. Okay, again, if you want to, you know what? I'm going to show you something real quick if anybody's watching this video. Screen capture. I'm going to go to, okay. This is my Ace Hurdler Challenge page. Let me open up and let me go here real quick. I say quick, but it didn't take me there quick. Here we go. And then I'll come back and talk about this challenge, but I want to show you something. So here's my hurdle page. This is where I put my free stuff, my free video reviews, my free cheat sheet. So somewhere here, I'm going to put one of these pictures for my preseason hurdle challenge, so you can access it. Okay. By the way, if you want a real review and not one of these quickie 5-minute things, this is my virtual coaching session. This is where you sign up for that, where I spend a lot of time digging into you, answering questions, sometimes just sending you free stuff, whatever. No promises on that, but it happens a lot. Just know that. Okay. But here's where you'll find that out. So let me go back because I want to talk about the hurdle challenge. It's free, by the way. Did I not mention that? Okay. So Ace Hurdler preseason challenge. What do you get? You get workouts given to you. They include running, strength workouts, power workouts. You can get on a live weekly Zoom session with me where, depending on how many people there, I'm definitely going to be talking about the training, answering questions, and then hopefully we'll be able to dialogue. That's my hope and full expectation. And also, if you want a chance to get a free analysis, then you'll get priority placement on the list to possibly be chosen for that. This tells you about how the Zoom sessions work, and you just sign up and send it to me. It's free and easy. And I highly recommend it. Even though I've never done it before, no one's ever done it, but I feel good about it. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to go well. I'm excited to try it. So back to here. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can always email me at acemethodcoaching@gmail.com. Don't send me your videos there because every day I've got to send somebody a message saying, thank you for sending me your video, but don't send it to me. You got to go this way to send it to. So go to my website, and that's how you send me videos. That's it. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you in the Ace Hurdler Challenge and on the Zoom call. Have a good day.